Hello and welcome to the fifth lecture in the series, which is on the academic culture in the United States and a pre-departure orientation before you fly to the US for your higher studies. This is the overview of the lecture series, and we are at the fifth step of the pre-departure orientation before you take the flight to the United States. We have already covered the course selection, university selection, online application and documents preparation. We also looked at how to prepare for visa interviews, and now after having completed all of this, we can go through looking at things, what you can expect when you go to the United States, and how you can be better prepared when you go over there for your studies. So the learning objectives of this particular lecture includes understanding how the graduate program in the US is structured. We will discuss here about how the programs are structured in a way that the kind of course assessments that they will take, the kind of grading system that they will have, what are the techniques for teaching that they use. So here we will also talk about how becoming a scientist is not very different than any other job that you may be doing or any other career that you may choose. We will also discuss about health insurance and vaccinations, the requirements that may be from the universities, and also take a glimpse into the student life that you can expect over there. So let's first start with the graduate programs in the United States. So when I say the word scientist, I want you to imagine what kind of thing come to your mind. I'm sure from whatever you may have heard over the years, this is something which you may be imagining: a mad scientist working in the laboratory, grey hairs, working day in and day out on trying to do some experiments, trying to mix some liquids and see what kind of things are happening. This is unfortunately the kind of image that has been built up of a scientist. But if you really think about it, a scientist is no different than how you and me look. These are regular people. They work in the laboratory and they perform experiments in a systematic way. They are basically taught these things about how to go about searching for answers by doing experiments in a systematic way, so that you can reach an end. You can generate a hypothesis, you can test out that hypothesis, you can improve your critical thinking ability. So all these things are basically taught to you when you are trying to become a scientist. And although these things do not come up easily or through a course as such, these things take time, and that's why masters and PhD programs are more focused towards research, which does not have like a fixed structure in terms of the kind like the coursework you have to do and then you are done. They always involve some kind of research work, some thesis based research work, where you perform some novel research and you show your findings to the world, and based on that, based on novelty of your findings, you are then granted your master's or a PhD degree. So don't be too alarmed by the word scientist. Everybody can become a scientist, and that is what brings me to my next slide. So it's not necessary to think that to become a scientist that you have to have really lot of brains and you need to be really smart or very talented or those kind of things. I'll use a cricket analogy here. So we all know Sachin Tendulkar is a great natural talent. He was a great cricketer. He started very early in his age, and that is because he was a natural talent. He already had a lot of characteristics or features which make a person a better batsman, and so he was probably a good cricketer. But at the same time, we all know that Rahul Dravid was also able to achieve similar results as Sachin Tendulkar, although he was not as naturally talented as, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar. But with determination, with hard work, with perseverance, he was able to achieve similar success to Sachin Tendulkar. So a person with determination can also succeed as much as a person with natural talent, and that is why becoming a scientist is in the similar way. Not necessary that you need to be a born scientist or you need to be thinking like a scientist right from early days, but these skills can be acquired, these skills can be generated, cultivated, learned over a period of time. If you put enough dedication towards it, if you have enough motivation to do that, you would definitely be able to do that. And so the step that you have taken to go abroad and do a master's or a PhD, that would definitely help you to achieve this state and start your scientific career either